Hello everyone, this is David from Automotive Press. And yes, I am going to talk about the 2022 Toyota Tundra for a moment today, but I can only share with you what I'm allowed to share with you. And so what I mean by that is anything that has become public, I can confidently and comfortably share with you. But anything that we might or might not know, but it's not out there in public, most likely I'm gonna have to hold back a little longer still. So I apologize that not all information could be shared with you, but I could predict forecast and talk about things that I suspect will be happening in conceptual format. So a lot of stuff is happening right now at Toyota, as you know. Many reveals took place at the Toyota headquarters last week in Texas, and many more to come. But in terms of Tundra, which is a story that all of you guys are waiting, let me share with you what I can share with you. So I can neither confirm nor deny a few things, but at least some of the stories are opening up a little bit more, and so I can share with you some really fascinating news today. What you see here is a rendering that I created for the 2022 Toyota Tundra TRD Pro, which appears to be the model that has been circulating in the form of a Toyota teaser. So the teaser that Toyota has been showing is the wide, massive, high-performance Tundra. You can tell it's wide because it's got the 3 marker lights in the front, as well as marker lights on the fender blisters there. And that's by regulation. You have to have that when it's more than 80 inches wide. We know that particular version is likely the flagship Tundra. Again, my suspicion and my prediction is that that version, the big one, the powerful one, the massive one, is the TRD Pro. Because if that's the teaser Toyota is showing you now, that means the TRD Pro will come out pretty early in the life cycle of this introduction this year. And so very possible that we can actually buy the TRD Pro right off the bat versus waiting a year or longer for the special edition and limited edition TRD Pro to show up. Now, I do have a deposit on 2 Tundras at the 2 dealerships, and so I'm really hoping that I will be able to buy the Tundra TRD Pro this year or early next year, and you'll be the first to get a sneak peek into that once I get that in my hands. But for now, let me continue to give you some of the final summary of what's happening with the Tundra prior to an actual release. So we are circling around a lot of information, but we are back in the circle of the insight that I can share with you, and that is the timing of the Tundra. Now, that has been the very elusive date because you heard many different dates, June 2nd, June 17th, or later. And again, I can't confirm a few things, but I can confirm that Toyota will release the information on Tundra by September. That is the 100% sure thing, and that truck will arrive November, December timeframe, likely more December, January possibly. So those are the things I can confirm, and my suspicion and my prediction has been that on June 17th, the dealer network, the dealership that operates as Toyota franchise, will be able to see the Tundra virtually on that day. But once again, it's very possible that none of that information can be revealed in public format. So that's, again, another important date, but something I cannot guarantee or confirm yet in terms of whether public can see the Tundra around that time frame. But there has been some kind of introduction last week on June 2nd, which I cannot talk about. And then there will be another some kind of introduction on June 17th, which a dealership might not be able to talk about, and that's, I know, really frustrating. But the good thing is that as you hear more and more about these reveals and debut, you know that the public one, the official date, is coming very soon. And because Toyota showed the teaser photo just a couple of weeks ago, there's no way they're going to wait 2 or 3 months to show the truck publicly. So I suspect, based on the history of Toyota, if they show the teaser photo a couple of weeks ago, then I'm hoping and really wishing that in June they'll show a bit more of the truck publicly and you get to see at least some form of shape. So that's what I'm hoping for. But let me confirm a few more really important things that we now can share. And that is the Tundra will have 2 powertrains. Now, both powertrains might not be available at the same time in the beginning, but for sure, and this is an interesting news, Toyota will bring 2 engine choices to the market. The first one, I am very confident what that is, and that will be the 3.4 liter twin turbo V6 borrowed directly from the Lexus LS. In terms of horsepower, of course, we don't know the exact number, but my prediction is that you'll be about 420 to 430 horsepower and about the 450 foot-pounds of torque, maybe a bit higher, maybe 460, but not more than that. I'm almost very sure you'll be less than 430 horsepower and less than 460 foot-pounds of torque. So my best guess is about 420 horsepower and about 435 to 440 foot-pounds of torque. And that's the 3,444 cc or 3.4 liter. Toyota refers to it as a 3.5 liter V6 engine with a twin turbo built-in. So that I am very confident is going to be the correct base powertrain. So the big question is the optional powertrain, which is going to be step up from the 3.4 twin turbo V6, and the one that Bob Carter at Toyota America says will blow the competition away. It's going to be a massive increase compared to the base engine. So what does that exactly mean, and how would they get that massive power increase over the base engine? That's the big question. I will share with you what I think is going to happen, and this is again unofficial. It is one of my speculations, but as you probably know by now, most of my prediction, maybe close to 90 to 95%, have become true and they turn out to be accurate. So hopefully you can have some trust and faith in my thinking as an engineer, that when I share something with you, I've done lots of research and analysis before I end up talking about it with you. So my prediction for the upgraded engine is going to be the hybrid system. Not just your ordinary hybrid, but it's going to be something similar to, the whole idea of the RAV4 Prime, because that one is really a plug-in hybrid, but it's a plug-in hybrid with a special system, because together, in terms of the battery, the motor, and the engine, have ended up producing something quite substantially more powerful than the regular RAV4. In fact, as you probably know, the RAV4 Prime is the second fastest Toyota after the Supra 3.0. So we happen to own 2 2021 RAV4 Prime, and so I'm very familiar with it. And if you just put it in electric mode only, it's actually not as fast as you would think. But when you put it in the combined hybrid electric mode, then the engine and the EV motor working together produces immense acceleration. So that's the concept I truly believe Toyota is going to use for the upgraded and high-performance flagship Tundra. So that means it's the 3.4 liter twin turbo V6 combined with electric motors to give you a full complement of power and torque coming from both the engine and the electric motor. I think that combination is going to give you what they call the world beater engine and powertrain performance. Exactly how much horsepower and torque we don't know yet, of course, that's a big question. But I'm guessing it could be as much as 500 horsepower and at least 500 to 550 foot-pounds of torque. So maybe as much as 70 to 80 horsepower over the standard engine and as much as another 60 to 80 more foot-pounds of torque over the base engine. That would officially make it kind of the benchmark in many ways, but it's going to be in that neighborhood. My best guess is that you'll be sort of 500 to 520 horsepower range, and then about 500 to 530 foot-pounds of torque. So in that range, maybe 500 and 500 would be a good number to think about. But at that number, it is definitely one of the world-class powertrains, and because it will likely be hybrid, it's also going to give you the type of fuel economy that you simply cannot get from a big V8 engine. Now, the only question is, would it be a plug-in hybrid, or would it be more of a standard hybrid? We don't know that yet. I have a feeling that it's not a plug-in hybrid yet, because they also announced, of course, a while back that there will be electric truck that will be arriving in our footsteps in the next few years. So I still think that's going to be the Tundra EV. So I think they're going to have the base engine 3.4 twin turbo V6, then the hybrid version which combines the 3.4 turbo with electric motors to give you the upgraded performance, and then there will be eventually be in about 2 years time a fully electric Tundra BEV or BEV version of the Tundra, battery electric vehicle. So I think that's sort of the step, the 3.4 liter V6 twin turbo, then the hybrid, and then fully electric. I think that's the process of the reveal over the next couple of years. Now, according to interview with Bob Carter by Motor Trend, he said that the new powertrain, the upgraded one, will blow others away with amazing technology and features that's unique to Toyota. And so it could be something more than just a hybrid. Again, it could be a plug-in hybrid. But I really think the 3.4 liter twin turbo hybrid is likely the powertrain for the upgraded version. And that upgraded performance model will probably be TRD Pro. Could there be another model above TRD Pro? That is totally possible. Some people claim that the name Trail Hunter, which was trademarked in March of this year, is the new name for the upgraded version. I don't think so, because they're not going to trademark a name like a Trail Hunter in spring of this year and then later this year already introduce a truck with that name. There's usually like a year to year and a half of a duration between the trademark and the new model coming out. So who knows what the flagship model will be called. I still think it will be TRD Pro. That's the model I'm going to be buying. But a couple interesting things to point out. And one is that the Toyota has never combine that 3.4 liter twin turbo V6 with hybrid technology yet. The hybrid system that you find in the Lexus LS is the standard 3.5 liter V6 without the twin turbo combined with the hybrid system with 2 electric motors. So that's the normal hybrid approach. So if they do combine the twin turbo V6 with electric motors, that'll be the first time in Toyota's history. And I can see those two combination producing immense power and torque, because you have the technology advantage of a turbocharged engine combined with the immediate torque that you generate from electric motors. So that's going to be a really exciting thing to look out for. As for timing, I'm not 100% sure, but as I mentioned earlier, the Tundra will be revealed by September, which means we should be able to get a couple more sneak peeks into the Tundra before September, and then they say the production should start November with potential arrival for December. Now, typically speaking, if the production starts in November, it's about 2 months after before the models actually begin to arrive at the dealership. So I think it's going to be late October, early November production if they want to try to meet end of December date for the arrival at the dealerships. The rest of the details for the Tundra, again, can't be confirmed, but I can tell you what I think will happen, as I have mentioned a few times in my previous videos. But the engine will be paired with a 10-speed automatic. That's the combination that's currently being used in Lexus LS. And if you look at one of my previous videos, I did end up driving a Lexus LS with that combination. And I can tell you the engine is smooth, the transmission is really, really refined. And I think it is the right combination to put that 10-speed automatic with the 3.4 liter twin turbo V6. Suspension has been leaked through a number of different media. The rear suspension for the first time has coil springs, and so that's a huge deal for Tundra, because it's going to give you a more stable ride and a much better highway and a city driving feel, because the whole system just works a lot better than the old system. In terms of the exterior appearance, I have done a number of rendering showcasing the Tundra in different trim levels, which you see here. And I'm very confident that these will turn out to be pretty accurate, because we have seen enough spy photos and leaked photos throughout the last few months that I can actually take portion of the spy photos and extract information from there and create the renderings. So I'm very confident that these are pretty close to what we're going to see, but obviously we'll find out in a short time. Moving into the interior of the Tundra, there hasn't been a single leaked photo of the interior, if you could believe that. But we can gather a lot of information from the Land Cruiser reveals, because there has been leaked photos of the Land Cruiser interior. And of course, that model, the LC300, the new model, is being fully revealed this coming Wednesday on June 9th. So keep an eye on that. That's going to be the first time we get to see the newest TNGA F platform vehicle live. And because the Land Cruiser and Tundra shares the same TNGA-F platform, there's a lot of things that we can learn about the Tundra from the Land Cruiser. But anyway, in terms of what I do know or what I can share with you, the interior of the Tundra is not going to have this massive display panel like you see in the Dodge Ram. It's going to be very standard and nothing super fancy. It should have the 12.3 inches infotainment system that's used in other Toyota and Lexus models. Obviously, it will be a touch panel type, and it will have all of the latest technology, such as Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. The one thing I'm not quite sure about is that the new Land Cruiser coming out will have a thumb reader, and you can actually use your thumb to start the engine. That's a new technology. Now, they need that for Land Cruiser because of the high theft associated with that model. So I'm not quite sure if the Tundra will have that. But they keep saying that new Tundra will have a world-class technology and features. So I wouldn't be surprised if there is a thumb reader in the Tundra, and you can start the car with your thumb without using your key. So that would be kind of cool, and it'd be a really nice security feature as well. Otherwise, the rest of the interior, we're not quite sure exactly what's going to happen, but you can expect all of the latest technology features, even things like head-up display, which is typically reserved for a luxury model. I think those will all cascade down to Tundra, and it will be fully equipped with all of the safety features as well, such as collision mitigation and adaptive cruise control. All that stuff, I believe, will be standard features. And so it'll be really fascinating to see what's going to happen with the new Tundra. Oh yes, and by the way, the 360-degree camera, the ability to kind of float above the truck and kind of look around, that what we call the look around feature, 360, should be part of Tundra. And there's also the see-through feature, which is as if you are driving the truck and you can see through the truck. That feature is also part of Toyota's technology system already, and I'm pretty sure that will be in the new Tundra because that is going into new Land Cruiser. So those are some of the highlights for technology. There may be a lot more stuff coming through the system, but those are the main key points. The final point I wanted to make is about the color. Now, there has been some confusion because Toyota is doing something different for 2022 in that the exclusive TRD Pro color this year is not limited to one color. So in the past, whether it's Lunar Rock or Army Green, when Toyota chose a special color for the TRD Pro, it applied to all of the TRD Pros, which include the Tacoma, the Tundra, Sequoia, and the 4Runner. But they're breaking away from that tradition this year and actually offering more than one special color. We do already know that the color for the Tacoma TRD Pro is the electric lime, which is kind of like a lime green-ish color. And so that one is definitely happening in the Tacoma. Well, I did announce, for example, for the 4Runner, they are using a paint code 5C3, which is simply called the yellow. And I was making fun of the name because you expect Toyota to come up with something more innovative than just yellow. But that is actually what is in the configuration sheet. I have the build sheet. And so I know for sure, for at least for the 4Runner, it's going to be the 5C3 paint code, yellow, and that is different from the Tacoma paint code because the Tacoma again has the electric lime color. So the question for the other TRD Pros, which includes the Tundra and obviously Sequoia, is yet to be determined. I suspect that it could be a third different color than the yellow and the lime color that's shown already, or it could be yellow, but I don't think it's going to be the electric lime. Now, a couple people have approached me and said that they've seen the name Lime Rush for the 4Runner color option for TRD Pro as an exclusive color. And so that part, I'm a little bit confused why they would use a name called Lime Rush when the electric lime is also used. And then here in the Canadian spec, we are seeing this name called the yellow. So I suspect maybe there is just a difference in the naming scheme between the US and Canada, or the lime rush color is the earlier name and they decide to simply stay with a less radical naming called the yellow. The yellow for 4Runner is confirmed. I do have the actual final build sheet, and that is not a speculative sheet, it is the final sheet, so that I do know. I suspect the Tundra TRD Pro will have a third different exclusive color, and it's neither yellow nor electric lime, and perhaps that's the new standard or new way Toyota is trying out. But if it does end up keeping the same color as one of the other TRD Pro exclusive colors, then I suspect it's going to be yellow and not the electric lime. I think that one is kind of reserved for Tacoma. You'll look kind of strange on a large Tundra, but in terms of color, we'll find out shortly. They will obviously offer the other standard TRD Pro colors, which will be the magnetic gray, super white, midnight black. And for non-TRD Pro Tundras, some of the newer colors that came out last year will be cascaded down. So the Lunar Rock will become available in other Tundras, which is really, really nice because it's a very special color. I have a Lunar Rock Tacoma TRD Pro, so I know how much I love that color. And all the other colors that we've seen before will also be available, including the Army Green, which was the TRD Pro exclusive color in the past. So that's all I can share for the moment, folks. But as I get more and more information that I can share, you'll be the first to see and hear about it here in my channel. So I also want to thank everyone for being patient and also being loyal to my channel here. I will continue to feed you as much information as quickly as possible as an automotive engineer and insider, and hopefully those things will be helpful for you. And more importantly, I hope you enjoyed the video and you have a great week to come. Lots of reviews this week with the Lexus NX, with Ford Maverick, and Land Cruiser, which is a big deal. So lots of news coming up and a lot more to share with you later on. Thank you so much for watching. Catch you soon.